All right, Squid Boys. Today's topic is a naval invasion, and not any kind of naval invasion, but a sneaky naval invasion. So what am I doing? I have a submarine here, and you could see my soon-to-be enemy, East Algeria, has a light cruiser. And over here, I have two light cruisers from his ally, Southern USA, and I have another submarine. So what am I doing? I'm consolidating my submarines together now because I've found their navy. I've spent a couple days scouting the coast to find their navy, and I will be taking out these three individuals. Now, my plan of attack is a sneak attack, a sneaky naval attack right here. And this is just one way of using navies. And this way is we're not at war. I'm landing on your country. I'm landing on your beaches, and I'm going for your capital. So I have my battleship and light cruiser and another submarine amassing with my main army. Now, my main army has been sitting in Bursa because you can see the morale on the bottom left. It's at 99%. But my other coastal provinces here, Pygros, Larissa, Yanina, their morale is not at 100%. So spending a few days amassing my whole army in those provinces would actually hurt my morale. Now I'm consolidating them all into one spot so the Navy can guard the army, and that's very important. My goal is once they're all consolidated here, which they can't see me because I have balloons, so I have the farthest line of sight. So they have no idea my army's coming. But this night, I'm going down here, and we're going to land right here. Now, why right here is it's where you're going to start to see me first. And I'm trying to be as sneaky as possible, so the closest distance to get to land is what I want. My battleships can also attack this province too. So as they're unloading, I'm going to be bombarding. And the goal is just to get my massive army onto the shores, and then we can start pushing out. Now, when that happens, my submarines are going to kick in, and we're going to take out this light cruiser. Now, we could have another submarine here, but two submarines can beat out one submarine and one light cruiser. So that's why I'm consolidating them both here. We're not attacking them right now. We're just both moving to the same spot that this cruiser is at. And if war breaks out, they'll start fighting. Yeah, so this is naval invasion, being sneaky with sneaky submarines. And for the moment, things are going to plan. All right, we're getting closer to go time. It's the morning now, but sometime in the afternoon, we'll start the landing. Now that the main army is getting closer, I'm going to have my balloon follow in right behind them. And I've done this before, don't do it, but don't send your balloons to the front line and then your navy behind them, because you're just going to alert the enemy. You want your balloons in a safe distance away. And a safe distance is you can see their territory, but you can't see any of their units, because if you could see their units, they also may have a balloon. And I'm keeping this balloon for line of sight in the Mediterranean in case anyone invades me. Now that this province is slowly getting up to 100%, Yanina, I'm using that as the next rally point. So I'm going to keep an army here to assist them if they need it, because over time I'll need to cycle my infantry. And that means having fresh troops get into the front line while the weaker ones heal. But I'm thinking, I'm invading the weakest one, and I'm thinking I could push right here, and this could be my next defensive line right here. So that's like 3, maybe this one. Now I'm undecided, but we'll see where I go, and we'll see how far I can push. Maybe I could just take the whole thing. Ideally, that's what I want to do. Oh, they lost Southern USA. All right, so far I've not been spotted, which is great. And my submarines, again, are right in front of the cruisers. When war breaks out, they'll start fighting. All right, it is the afternoon. I'm 21 minutes before reaching the edge of the coastline, the beach. I'm now safely knowing there's no submarines. The way I know there's no submarines is if I do this. I'm going to declare war. Wait, before I declare war, just keep in mind, the submarines right here are going to start fighting. So I'm going to declare war. All right, so they're fighting. I can get a shot with the battleship right here. Boom. Okay, I'm going to continue moving this way, and I'm going to move out the army, and we're going to go right here. Now I've split them up, so now they're endangered with submarines, but since I already declared war, if there was a submarine here, we would have killed them combined all together in one strong force. And when the battleship arrives, it's going to start bombarding this position too. You can see the battleship already killed 2 infantry. And we killed the cruiser, which is great. And they had no artillery, or if they did, we went back to being sneaky. And now that we've attacked and sunk their navy, we have to worry about them consolidating and coming at us. So what am I going to do? I'm going to move these submarines right here. So the submarines are now going to join the Navy, and the Navy is going to be support for the beach landing. So anyone who tries to attack me while I'm landing is going to get hurt. Now, why does it matter? So pretend my opponent here had 160 infantry, 160. And they went out to attack me. I had no boats. I had nothing. I just had this. What would that look like? Well, here's 80 infantry. And, with the rule of 50, only 50 units fight. So this is the same exact stats. So 129 defense. You can see on the bottom right, it says 129 right here. So they would attack me while I'm disembarking on landing for 4 hours or so for 129 damage. Now, I, in turn, would only deal back 33.9. Now, you may say, well, Squid, you have so many cavalry and artillery and 900 infantry. Why is it only this damage? Because they're all on a boat. This isn't the land units. This is this boat right here. You see it on the bottom left, right here. This is what they're fighting, and this is what's fighting back. That's why your attack is so bad, and that's why he can deal 100 plus damage for multiple rounds for free. And that's why having a battleship brings that superiority to a naval invasion. Now, my opponent obviously hasn't seen me yet because I just declared war and he has no balloons. I've never made a tutorial video about balloons, but I feel like every video I make is about balloons because they're great. And when they land and take over this province, we're going to start splitting up and attacking and taking names. And the battleship is going to assist anyone on the coast. The next target for the battleship is this target. Now, why is this target important? You can see they have an artillery piece. It's a sizable good army. The reason the battleship is important is because the battleship has a greater range than the artillery. So we're looking at the artillery now, and you can see the view range is 90 and the attack range is 50. So a 50 attack range against what? Battleship. Attack range of 75. Now, that means if I position it right, I can shoot the artillery without the artillery being able to shoot me back. And that's a great thing about a battleship. If we look at the light cruiser, we can see the attack range is 40. So with the light cruiser, you actually are giving the range advantage to the enemy's artillery. And that's why I don't prefer light cruisers. Light cruisers are a cheap naval unit, so they're great in numbers, and they give good air defense. If you're trying to bombard a position against a competent opponent in the mid to late game, they're going to send their air force at you. They're going to send their bombers and attack your navy right now. And if they did that to me now, I would be in trouble. Because let's look at my army right now. My air defense is only 17. 10 of that damage, of that 17, is the light cruiser. And it's great. They'll shoot. They can shoot at targets that are on land. But it's really a deterrent for airplanes. All right. We have our beach landing, secured our bridgehead. My battleship last night successfully killed 21 units. Their artillery's gone. I'll continue this, but I'm splitting up the groups into 3, and each 3 group has a separate artillery group behind it. Now, this is standard how you should be fighting anyways, so that's not really part of this video, but we're going here with A to the capital, B along this line, and C along this line. Now, if I meet resistance, real resistance, we'll immediately retreat backwards. But right now, I think the shock of my invasion made him quit. Now, his ally, Morocco, may do something. So as I get closer to the border, I should be aware of a possible counterattack. And my submarines and light cruiser are going along the coast, and they're going to stop bombarding these positions to help out taking the capital, because I want to take the capital in day change, and I can probably. It really just depends how many units he has. But yeah, that's the goal right now. Now you want to balance using your navy to support the troops that have already landed, but you also want to balance the reinforcements that are coming. So I'm sending in this next group of reinforcements, and so I have to make sure that I'm helping out everyone who's down here by bombarding, but also that I have a good control over the seas. And you just have to play around with it. The more your enemy is, the more conservative you should be with your strategy. Right now, I'm very confident. If I wasn't confident, I would actually bring these submarines back here, and we'd just be transporting army units back and forth, now that I have my bridgehead. But I don't need to do that, because he's clearly being outclassed right now. All right, it's the evening, and I've been pushing. Algeria started a counterattack. You can see troops here, and you can see troops here. But overall, he's kind of flopping around and he has no goals. Now my battleship is now moving to the rest of my naval force. They're all converging here. The cruiser's going to shoot at this province here because it's the only one they can reach. Once they arrive, you can see the ring, a circle. And the battleship, when it arrives, it will start bombarding the capital. Now, I chose this because I'm going off of instinct, but I believe the artillery cannot fire at me still, because the artillery is somewhere in the middle of those two rings. And I want to say it has to be like right here to fire. If this is 70, if this is 40 for the light cruiser, I know you see a submarine, but he's up there. 90 for the battleship. And if they have an artillery here, 50 would be like right here. So they have to get out of the fort to shoot me, but my battleship can still shoot them. That's why I picked this spot, and I can set it and forget it, because I've already killed his navy or anything that I'm actually worried about. And by the morning, my main army will be right next to their capital. I'm not going to go right at it, but they'll be right there, and they'll be bombarding with the battleship. And then we can move on to the next person. And who's that? Well, that's Morocco, his ally. But yeah, I think by the morning, this will be wrapped up. It's the morning. My battleship is taking the capital down. They've only lost 2 infantry. They've lost a fort level. They're working on level 4 now, from 5 to 4. He must have given up and he just didn't click right because he didn't put 48 infantry in here. But he had a lot of infantry, so I'm assuming he still has a lot right here. So I'm not going to be able to take it in day change, which is an hour and 50 minutes from now. So I'm just going to bombard it if I can't get what I want. I'm moving infantry to get to provinces before the revolts happen, and I'm finishing up right here. Now, after this, I'm going to take the rest of this territory in the south right here, but I'm going west, and I'm going to go west and take him out. That is that. That is that. So this is Naval Invasion Basics 101. We did a sneaky naval invasion. This has been tips, tricks, and tactics. And I'll talk to you Squid Bois later.